Hi everyone, it's Jim at Wild Gravity Travels coming to you from Fun Spot Kissimmee for our second construction update, and we've seen a lot of progress. Taking a look from this angle, we can actually see some of the support brackets going in place. These will actually hold the wood, which is likely our next step. We can see lots of them in the ground here, even a curve for like a turn all the way across. And we still see an elevated raised area for the station, or possibly just to support the structure. We just see an elevated concrete area there. Kind of hard to make out with the daylight, but you can make it out, and we can see the brackets have gone in place. Now down at the end there, we noticed that the absence actually of the scream and swing, and we'll go down there and check that out in just another angle here in a few minutes, or a couple minutes. So on the other side of the fence from where we were just filming from on our first angle, we get a look at the elevated side of things. This is actually right next to the lift hill area, and where the lift hill will go up. You can see some workers over here are actually still working on placing brackets in the ground, so we're not quite done with the bracket step yet, as we also see a pallet of brackets to still be installed right here. Looking back this way, we see another set of crew members actively working on putting bolts in the brackets and the setups. Maybe also putting the brackets in place. The first workers may actually be, we pointed out a second ago, may actually be just putting the bolts in the concrete itself. And here we see that conduit we kind of pointed out last time in the video. Most likely, based on location, this is for the lift hill motor power. Though we could be wrong on that still. Now taking a look up ahead again, we talked about how the scream and swing is gone. There we see an excavator still actively working on moving dirt around, leveling things off. And we're gonna go down that way and see how close we can get for an angle there. So here, as we take a look only slightly further down, we see some spacing right here for a track. We see that kind of curve in. This could be our return to the station. This could also be lift hill support as well at the same time, as the tracks are very interwoven between each other. Lots of brackets going in. Just gonna have to wait to see how exactly it goes up. We've seen lots of pictures, and as we get a look over here, now we're a little closer to where that scream and swing is missing from, and get a sense for the area it took up. And you can see a lot of great progress from our last update right in this area. So right here from this angle, we're right next to or behind where the scream and swing once stood. As you can see, the leveling process is very active at this time. We even have an excavator, which I just mentioned before, actively removing the dirt, getting ready for that. Another little bobcat here leveling things off. Lots of measurements still to be taken over here as the concrete is re-leveled and reworked for, or as the dirt is leveled and reworked for concrete pouring, which we'd expect to be soon. So you can see different areas of the work site at different phases right now. Obviously further in the distance there, what we saw before, the workers putting in brackets and measuring for brackets, while down here at this end, a little further behind, still just removing the scream and swing. Definitely held up this end a little bit, but they're moving right along now with the leveling, and even some measurement ropes here. Now next up, to conclude, we're going to take a look at the supply lot, which is just across the street here. To wrap things up here from Kissimmee Fun Spot, we are at the supply lot, where we actually have found pieces and parts of the disassembled scream and swing. We're not sure if they're gonna relocate or rebuild this elsewhere in the park. However, we have found the remnants of it here, as well as that seat we showed you in another angle a moment ago. Also, since our first update in the supply lot, we've seen some of the wood actually be uncovered, untarped, almost like it's ready for placement. Clearly with the footers, they definitely are ready for the placement, or the support brackets in the ground, definitely ready for placement. We've also seen a lot more wood show up. Here's the wood that we were talking about that is unwrapped, kind of placed out, almost like they're gonna cut it or size it, make sure it's right and ready to go. And then as we walk down along the fence line, we see several pallets of more wood for the coaster. Here, as we zoom into these pallets, we might even be able to make out, it says 4x4 by 8 feet, 72 pieces per rack there. Over on these longer ones, we can actually see 2x10x20, 80 pieces. And you can see that tarp kind of flapping open, get a size. Look for the size of those pieces. All kind of nerdy stuff at this point over here at Fun Spot Kissimmee. But as we've been showing you all around, gonna be a lot more excitement to come as we get a look for that lift rising. The station will be coming up soon. Obviously, we're just waiting on the vertical status here at Fun Spot Kissimmee. My name is Jim once again. I am with wildgravitytravels.com, and thanks for joining me on this adventure into a new wooden coaster for Kissimmee.